Wow. Actually, huge wow. A massive batch of Epstein files just dropped in hot, fresh off the battle bus here from the top turnbuckle out of nowhere. I didn't think we'd even see any more with the DOJ putting up that huge stink even recently about like how courts can't force them to release it, this and that. It seemed like this was never going to happen because getting them to comply with the law was like pulling teeth. So they were a month late, but they actually released like millions of Epstein files. And there are huge, disgusting, evil things that have been uncovered in this latest batch of Epstein files. This time around, it's a little different than their previous release where there were hundreds of pages of blacked out redactions and that was basically it. This is what you saw with the Epstein files, except I thought that was going to make the camera go black. You get the idea. It was basically just staring into the fucking void. It was just pitch black because everything was redacted. It was just a lot of nothing. But even amidst that nothing, they were so fucking incompetent that they left in the ability to unredact the files yourself, where people were able to catch them breaking the law, where a lot of the redacted names were not names of victims. They were various other things, and a lot of the redactions were clearly not victims. Sometimes it even seemed like the redactions were there to protect the names of potential clients and perpetrators, which again is a complete violation of the Epstein Files Transparency Act that they were supposed to be following. But again, even with them farting out completely blacked out pages to protect these pedophiles in power, there were still a lot of huge revelations that came from this, such as co-conspirators that for some reason they never pursued. We don't know who they were because their names have been redacted conveniently, but we learned that there were co-conspirators they were investigating, and I guess they just let the leads dry up and then just said, fiddlesticks, they're gone. Now time to pretend they don't exist. Like Kash Patel under oath lying about it. Perjury Patel, by the way, still not punished for it. And speaking of unpunished, you know who else has been unpunished? Every fucking Epstein client, all of these rapists and pedophiles, all of them still just getting away with these unthinkable crimes. No one being handcuffed and thrown in the slammer. Doesn't even seem like they're pursuing any investigations or anything into it. Across 2 administrations now, no fucking arrests outside of Maxwell, who Trump has done everything in his power to ensure she is treated like a queen at a new summer camp that she now resides at. Barely even a fucking prison. This is lunacy of the highest caliber. Now anyway, I know I'm getting kind of sidetracked here with like the previously on Dragon Ball Z with this whole saga. The most recent batch of Epstein files came out a couple hours ago. Millions of files, so people are still combing through them. But what they are finding is alarming. Trump's name, of course, is all over these files. His name appears more in these Epstein files than Green Eggs and Ham appeared in the fucking Green Eggs and Ham Dr. Seuss book. His name is everywhere with numerous allegations about terrible, awful things. Some things we had heard little bits and pieces about from previous Epstein releases, but this one has significantly more, including this FBI report that claims Trump has been compromised by Israel.
Anyone in the world can now advertise on mobile apps. Candy Crush on your Temple Run.
We had heard little bits and pieces about from previous Epstein releases, but this one has significantly more, including this FBI report that claims Trump has been compromised by Israel, which anyone who's been paying attention to this administration shouldn't really be surprised at. I don't think anyone heard that and recoiled in their chair going, what? If anyone's followed everything that's been going on in regards to Trump and Israel, it should be no surprise that the FBI believed he was compromised, is compromised as well, most likely. But this is, again, new information that is hitting the public here from official sources in these Epstein files. These are big. Another huge name appearing in here is Bill Gates. So Bill Gates had an exchange with Jeffrey Epstein, and I think it's been known for a long time Bill Gates was associated with Jeffrey Epstein, but this information here is new that talks about how he contracted an STD apparently and had asked Jeffrey Epstein to provide him with antibiotics that he could secretly dose Melinda with. He had contracted it from Russian girls apparently. Another massive name coming in is Elon Musk, who had an email chain with Jeffrey Epstein that was in these files about him trying to plan a visit to Jeffrey Epstein's island, and he seemed to want to find the wildest party, the best time to come through to the island, and he was trying to make plans to go visit the island. These new files also expose blatant lies that a lot of really powerful people tried to peddle to get themselves out of hot water in regards to their close connection to Jeffrey Epstein, like Howard Lutnick. Howard Lutnick is Trump's commerce secretary, and he claimed he cut ties with Jeffrey Epstein in 2005, yet in these files we can clearly see he was emailing Epstein in 2012, planning a trip out there, saying, "Hi Jeff, we are landing in St. Thomas early Saturday afternoon and planning to head over to St. Bart on Monday at some point. Where are you located? Does Sunday evening for dinner sound good? I have another couple, Michael and Mary Lehrman, with me on my boat, and each of us has 4 children. 2 16s, 2 14s, a 13, a 12, an 11, and a 7-year-old. Thanks, Howard." What a disgusting freak. He's even listing out the ages of the children that are joining them on their planned trip to Epstein's Island. This is in 2012. That's quite a few years after 2005, Howard. Seems like you told a big-time fib. Howard said that he had visited Epstein's house in 2005. A few years after 2005, Howard. Seems like you told a big-time fib. Howard said that he had visited Epstein's house in 2005, but it culminated with him getting the heebie-jeebies. He called him gross and said that was basically kaput. That was the end of his relationship with Epstein. He washed his hands of him back in 2005, but that clearly wasn't true now, was it, Howard?
Pictures appearing to show Andrew Mountbatten Windsor crouched over an unidentified woman are featured in the latest disclosure of files linked to the late American sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The images are among more than 3 million documents published by the Trump administration. It's not known where they were taken. Mr. Mountbatten Windsor has been asked for comment, but he hasn't responded. He's previously denied any wrongdoing. The US Justice Department said this was the final batch of material that would be published. John Sudworth has the details.
In and amongst the more than 180,000 images released are these pictures showing the then Prince Andrew kneeling over and touching a female whose identity has been hidden. There's no context, location or date provided. Andrew has always denied any criminal wrongdoing, but this latest batch of files once again contains items raising serious questions of judgment, not least an email exchange from 2010, long after his close friend Jeffrey Epstein had been convicted of sexual offences involving children, suggesting he meet with a 26-year-old Russian woman in London who he might enjoy having dinner with. Andrew replies he would be delighted to see her and adds, "Will she be bringing a message from you? Please give her my contact details to get in touch." Epstein writes back, "She's 26, Russian, clever and beautiful, and yes, she has your email."
We will continue reducing.
The new files also contain further revelations about Peter Mandelson, who last year lost his job as British ambassador to Washington after it became clear his friendship with Epstein had been deeper than previously known. They include the claim that the sex offender sent Lord Mandelson's then partner, now husband, Ronaldo Avila da Silva, £10,000 to cover the cost of an osteopathy course. Lord Mandelson has described his friendship as a most terrible mistake and says he wasn't aware of Epstein's crimes. There's little, though, to pose a real threat to President Trump, apart from some unsubstantiated allegations which the FBI had already ruled out, nor, his administration says, anything to prove a wider conspiracy. But with so many documents withheld or redacted, Jeffrey Epstein's victims do not believe they've yet been given the whole truth.
When the president signed the bill in November, it was to release all the files. All the files need to be released. They haven't been released. So that's what closure looks like. That's what justice looks like, whether anyone's prosecuted or not. Get the full information out there so the public, the survivors, and everyone can really know what's going on.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Antoine here, and welcome back. We're back with a video on the channel, and today's video, well, we're here to do another Ram Talk video. In today's video, once again, and of course, it's another video that I've actually been wanting to talk about for quite some time. I think probably last year, maybe 2 years ago, and all this. I do want to talk about it. Obviously, it's been all over the news and everywhere around the world. I figured why not talk about this as usual and give my thoughts and opinions on this whole entire thing and what's been going on. I really have been intrigued about this whole entire thing that's been going on for quite some time. And I'm sure you guys are probably are intrigued by this too as well, and probably shocked that I ain't even talking about this. Obviously, like I said, I'm going to talk about this, give my thoughts and opinions on this whole entire thing. I'm sure you guys already know the title of the video, the thumbnail you see in front of you. Obviously, is have something to do with Jeffstein's files, and that's recently just dropped. There were like over 3 million Jeffrey Epstein's files that just dropped, and we covered maybe about a few of them. I've covered maybe about a few of them on social media here and there that I do want to talk about it. I have been intrigued and have been wondering where these Epstein files are, what they're all about. Not just doing this for the victim, but just wondering where these are about, who's involved in the files, how bad the files are, like how bad we're talking. Like, is it really really bad to the bones, all bad? But and yeah, I really want to talk about this and give my thoughts, opinions on this. But before we get into today's video, once again, thank you for all the support on the whole entire videos, the Rams Talk videos, and any of the videos I've made over the past couple of days. I do appreciate you guys on that one, man. We January of 2026 has been kicking off greatly when it comes to content. Let's continue going forward throughout the whole entire year of 2026, and see where we go from there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to thank y'all for all of that one. Now, with that being said, let's discuss about this whole entire thing. I'm sure you guys are probably wondering and shockingly wanted me to talk about. Well, actually, I want to talk about this anyway for quite some time. Obviously, there were over at least about 3 million, the Jeffrey Epstein files that just dropped. I got a few of them on Twitter slash X on the on the website of the internet, and I covered maybe about a few of them, and I wanted to like discuss maybe about a few of them, maybe about a couple, maybe like 4 or 5, maybe 6. I don't know how much I got, but whatever how much I got, I want to cover them, talk about it, and see if we go from there. Now, so some of you guys who probably are new here or probably don't understand what the hell is the Epstein files. Who the fuck is Jeffrey Epstein's and all that type of stuff. Let me just run it back and get you guys to understand who Jeffrey Epstein is. Basically, this dude Jeffrey Epstein is a gray A, let's just say gray A asshole, or should I say gray A S O, or should I say XO? Basically he's basically a gray A, sex offender. Basically he was like the infamous. He was known for the infamous, hosting a parties over the years when he was around at the times. Particularly a party that came in when it comes to Epstein Island. When they go to this island that's involved with Epstein Island, meet other celebrities or anybody that's involved in it, powerful politics and everybody else come along, do this little tire, party. This big old party that's involved in the island. There'll be like the party of the lives and all type of stuff. Basically, that's what Jeffrey Epstein is known for right now, but he's also known to being a straight up p word and a pedophile, basically, in a R word, which is a rapist, and also he's a grade A, class A, first ballot sex offender. Yeah, he's a sex offender. So he's been known for doing some really wild shit while he was alive too as well, and also he has connection to our current president we got right now, which is Donald Trump. So obviously you see the two photos together and all that, and then you got some of these heinous stuff that he's done to his victims and everybody who's come out and speak about Jeffrey Epstein's and his mysterious island that he's been going on, vice celebrities and politicians, powerful people, and many other people who's been involved in this, whether they were victims or suspects or alongside partners with Epstein's. And let's just say there were a lot of the people were wondering over the years after his death, you know what I'm saying? People were wondering, okay, these files need to get dropped off. Why the U.S. government has not been, basically has been keeping the files like safely or whatever, because like obviously the victims have been fighting for so long to try to get the Jeffrey Epstein's files out to find closure, but also trying to bring out basically the truth of what really went down with whole entire Jeffrey Epstein and its island, specifically. Moreover, the whole entire point of the whole entire Jeffrey Epstein, files is because the Epstein's island that happened, and there are a lot of weird and heinous shit that I've seen over the years on the internet. People were talking about how bad this Epstein Island is. You know what I'm saying? Now keep in mind, Jeffrey Epstein's, he's basically a sex known like grade A first ballot, Hall of Famer, sex offender. You know what I'm saying? Long as a rapist, and of course a great piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? And let's just say, yeah, he done some really heinous shit at his time when he was alive, and ever since his death, I don't know when he died though, but he died quite a long time ago. A lot of people, including his victims, have been wondering when they're gonna drop the FC files and all this other type of stuff for years. They've been fighting on upon social medias, on the internet. They've been asking the U.S. government, the people who has the Jeffrey Epstein's files, release the files. This whole movement started back in last year, 2025, maybe in 2024. I think finally when Trump came on board, once again again our president for the second time, whatever. Obviously, many people making up these conspiracy theories saying that Trump might be involved in this whole entire Epstein files and everything. This picture of him and Epstein's together and all this, obviously all that was like way back there before he became president, you know what I'm saying? And then, there's other people, other celebrities that involved in this file too as well. And then many people really, especially the victims of the Epstein, like many of the Epstein's victims, they really want to basically get the truth out to everyone and see, try to get like full cold closure of the whole entire ordeal, find the truth of who was involved in the whole entire, the Epstein's Island shit that really went down and everything else, who was partnered with Epstein throughout everything that's going on. All these powerful politic, billionaires, millionaires, and people who are like among the top celebrities that was involved in this whole entire island shit that Jeffrey Epstein was doing while he was alive and all the nasty shit he has done. Keep this in mind: this dude's a sex offender, a rapist, and a straight up pedophile. So it's like, yeah, he does some really kind of like a lot of heinous shit that was so controversial. It just make it seem like, geez, whoever's associated with this dude, you kind of like feel like you need to get away from him because otherwise you probably be in trouble too as well. Well, he ended up passing away a long time ago. The Epstein files was all he had is left, honestly, and the U.S. government was like, frankly, kind of like scared of like dropping the files. Like, oh, I don't know if I want to drop the files here and there. And obviously the victims and everybody who was affected by this were asking, and begging, the U.S. government and the people, the Trump administrators and Trump himself to release the files. I think last year they signed like a law where it was like the Epstein file law, whatever it's called, and they basically have a law where basically where all the Epstein files has to be dropped unredacted, meaning that no line is blank, like the black, how the black line marked there when you can't see words and all type of stuff, that is redacted, meaning that it's classified lines that cannot be shown or whatever. Now that they passed a law where all the files, all the Epstein files will be dropped, they all had to be unredacted, meaning every word or anybody that's involved in this file, it must be known to the public in anything in shape or form. No redacting or whatever. Now, I think it was last year, if I'm not mistaken, or was it earlier this year? I can't remember. I think it was last year. Last year around December, we got like a few, the Epstein files we got, and it showed all redacted fucking pages of the Epstein, files and everything. So we got nothing out of the shit, and then it was kind of crazy because like it's funny how the Trump administrators and Trump himself and many of the U.S. government are basically saying, fine, we'll release the files, but then you guys are basically redacting, meaning that you're basically like classifying or not showing us the details of what happened to Epstein files and everything and see what's really going on, and you're just basically leaving all blank for no entirely reason whatsoever because you just don't want to show the explosiveness of what's going on. We all know Jeffrey Epstein is a piece of shit and a fucking weirdo. We all know that for a fact, but we want to know who was involved in this shit because it could just be him that was doing all this nasty shit that's going on his island. It gotta be some people that were involved, but then again, the U.S. government seems like they don't want to show it because they're either too overprotected by this file, or they don't want to get, or some people that are in the U.S. government government or in the Trump administration that was been probably was one of those people that was in the Epstein Island probably got himself a little bit handy mandy on there, or let's just say that, you know what I'm saying? And maybe that's why, you know what I'm saying? So for so long we've been trying to like wondering like, yo, is they gonna show the files or not? That's why I've been kind of been like not hesitant to talk about this because it's like I need to see the files. I need some of the most important files and something that I can really talk about, see who or whose names on there and see who's really on there, you know what I'm saying? Because Trump has been align himself with the names among the many people who was involved in the whole entire the Epstein's Island thing, allegedly, you know what I'm saying? We don't know if the truth or not. And obviously, it's and obviously there mean more other people too as well. And speaking of which, I think it happened as I think it was around January 31st or January 30th or 2026. There were 3 million. There were over 3 million files of the Epstein files that have dropped, and I got a few of these files that I want to talk about. And honestly, we got to talk about it, give like a full thoughts, opinions on it. So I'm show you guys these files real quick, and obviously these are the names. I don't know if these are true or not, if these allegedly true or not, or something like that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But all I know is that if you're part of a file or something when it comes to involving Epstein's, you have a lot of explaining to do. So I really want to know this, man, because for so long I've been really wanting to know like who's part of this Epstein's file. I really want to know what's these files, man. Like who's done some really heinous shit alongside with Epstein, with Jeffrey Epstein, because it could just be him. Gotta be somebody else too as well. And that's where we saw a few of the files, and I'm going to show you guys this right about now. So let's check out some of the few files in here and there, and I'll give my thoughts, opinions on it at the end. You know, so I'm going to go to middle of it and all that type of stuff. So let me show you guys the files real quick that I've like uncovered. So this is one of the files that came up that I saw on social media that came up. It's the FBI, basically the Federal Bureau of the Investigation and all that. I think it's like a victim type of file that involves with Jeffrey Epstein with the child sex trafficking thing. It was drafted by somebody redacted we can't know of, like a victim. This was kind of like received around like 2019. You know what I'm saying? And then this whole document took place back in 1994 when this victim was basically like SA'd by a couple of Jeffrey Epstein's friends, allegedly, that's been involved with the whole entire thing, basically. And it's basically called unclassified whatever, you know what I'm saying. And of course I guess Epstein has been like involved in it, you know what I'm saying. So that was pretty crazy to think about, you know what I'm saying. And of course, right here, this is the letter of Bill Gates' letter to Jeffrey Epstein's. Obviously, they both kind of were like close, you know what I'm saying, as usual. And this date around like back in 2013, whatever, and all this type of stuff, it just got released like a couple days ago, whatever. Obviously, this is a long letter, so if you want to read for yourself and everything and all that, all means go ahead and read it. But I highly encourage you to go look it up yourself because these are kind of not like the best like a viewpoint of the letters, whatever. But if you can read it, then you can read it. But I always try to sum it up as much as I can to make y'all understand what this whole thing, the whole entire letter of what Bill Gates wrote to Jeffstein, it's Jeffrey Epstein, obviously. Says so. Basically, if you don't know Bill Gates, he's basically like a businessman, like one of the richest men in the world. He's like the 13th most richest man in the world, or 14th, I can't remember, but he's a rich man. So let's say that. And of course, he wrote this basically to summarize it in short term. Basically, Bill Gates wrote this to Jeffrey Epstein about a situation that happened during the time where he was I think he was in the island, I believe, when this whole thing happened. He contacted, I guess you could say, STDs from Russian girls, you know what I'm saying, that he has contacted to, you know what I'm saying? And he's trying to get Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein to try to, give some antibiotics or anything to cure him from the STDs, you know what I'm saying, allegedly, you know what I'm saying? And, obviously, that's what, that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? Basically, he was having something with the Russian girls. Obviously, Bill Gates was. He contacted STDs, and then next thing you know, he's asking Jeffrey Epstein's like, "Hey, can you help me with this whole type situation? Give me antibiotics and anything that will help me out." So that whole thing happened. You know what I'm saying? So he was allegedly, hanging around with Russian girls. Bill Gates was, I'm assuming, right? You know what I'm saying? Allegedly, you know what I'm saying? And well, I mean, if he does contact STDs, if he had STDs was true, that sucks. But maybe next time you use a condom, Bill Gates, you know what I'm saying, that will help you out in so many ways. But I digress. And then the next one we just got found out about this is also Elon Musk, you know what I'm saying, is partaking of this Epstein files and all type of stuff. Obviously he was messaging, talking to Jeffrey Epstein. He was talking about, hey, is there any way I could get to the island and all this type of stuff. Basically, Elon Musk, based off of this message, he really wanted to go to the Epstein's island. He really wanted to find a way to go to the Epstein's island. Like he was trying to message or email, Jeffrey Epstein's and like, hey, listen, is there any way that I can get to the island? Where can we meet? I have an invitation, you know what I'm saying? I really want to go to the island and all this type of stuff. Is there any way I could get there? Obviously, he want that quote unquote peaceful island experience, of the opposite of what I'm looking for. The peaceful island experience. That's Elon Musk wrote that. Like, look at the words. Like you can read for yourself. But a peaceful island experience. The opposite of what I'm looking for. Peaceful island. Oh yeah, the island's peaceful, all right? Get the fuck out of here. And of course, there's another one that has also been making its way to the file too as well. That just recently just came out. It has something to do with this thing called Howard or Lucknick Howard. Howard. I'm just gonna say Howard. So this Howard dude was part of the whole entire Jeffrey Epstein, thing that's been going on in the island, whatever, allegedly, you know what I'm saying? And obviously he messaged, Jeffrey about everything. I'll read it right here just for once because I can really like see the whole thing. You can pause for yourself. But it says right here, and I quote, it says, "Hi, Jeff. We're landing in the St. Thomas early Saturday afternoon and plan to head over to St. Barge slash Inguilina, whatever, on Monday at some point. Where are you located? What is the exact location for my captain? Does the Sunday evening for a dinner sounds good? I have another couple, Michael and Macy, whatever blank, with me on my boat, and each of us has 4 children, two 16s, two 14s, 13, 12, 11, and a 7-year-old. This dude was basically trying to invite underage kids into the Epstein Island. Look with Howard. Let me search this dude up. Hold on a second. Is he still like alive? Is he part of something? No, I really need to know. I need to know right now. I need to know right the fuck now. Let's see. Lux with Luntick. Hold on. Let's see. Luntick Howard. Okay, Luntick Howard. Let's see. He is a American businessman, obviously. Is he part of anything whatsoever? Like, is he part of office, whatever? Oh, what do you know? He's the 41 United States Secretary of Committee, Commissary, whatever. Yeah. So basically, as I'm currently recording this, Lockwood Howard is the 41 United States, Secretary of Congress or Commerce. Obviously, he's lined himself with Donald Trump with the whole entire, the presidency, whatever, and all the type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he took a place part of this whole entire weird bat shit. Yeah, he's still in office as I'm recording this, and he's currently the Secretary of Committee, and he's his best friend is Donald Trump. That's my phone dropping. Mic drop right there. Yeah, that's. And of course, it says thanks, Howard. I forgot to mention that too as well. So, okay, well, Yeah, this is disgusting. That's all I can say about that one. And of course, there's two. There's this one that's also linked to another image. I'll show you guys on that one. Obviously, the according to this Twitter account called Media Touch, obviously the new SD Files production features numerous allegations made against Donald Trump and others. Which once again, Donald Trump is in this file as usual as well. Because well, I mean, it's no surprise because obviously he's been friends with Jeffrey Epstein for quite some time, so it's no surprise about this one. And there's numerous pages, or whatever, that involve, Donald Trump, what he allegedly has done during the time when he was with Jeffrey Epstein and everything else, and all that type of stuff. As you see right here, these are the files that involve with Trump and everything that he's allegedly involved in with the whole Epstein Island and all this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And there's many others that are involved in this too as well. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly too as well, and to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Involved with Jeffrey Epstein. You know what I'm saying? I highly recommend you go on Twitter, go on social media, or go on the internet to look at these files yourself, because I shrunk these things down to be like the appropriate page to where you guys can see the files and everything else. Some were redacted for some odd reason, whatever. I don't know why they redacting all of it, where they should be unredacting every single thing that's been going on. But here you guys go. There's the files right there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like literally, this is all the files I got that I've got so far. There's probably more that have come out. There's like over 3 million files that has been that has been filed, but the main ones I got are the ones that are like the main people that are on there that's involved with the whole Jeffrey Epstein's, files. Elon Musk, you got Bill Gates, you got this Howard dude, Trump's got more of his own time thing, and then of course you have many other people too as well that I forgot to mention. Yeah, this is pretty pretty bold right here. I'm not gonna lie. Like the U.S. committee hit us with a goddamn sledgehammer, a CM Punk pipe bomb mixed with the Undertaker's tombstone power driver, with the Mark Henry, strongest slam, with the RKO on the files we got recently, and there's more files that's gonna be happening. I don't know when though, but these were the key files that I was able to show you guys. And yeah, these are fucking egregious, man. The one that really stood out to me, honestly, is this Luke with Howard file, the dude who's currently our Secretary of the Communities, and he did this type of shit right here. Me with Jeffrey Epstein, bringing in children on board. Really? Are we being dead ass right now? Like, okay, if he's not arrested, I don't know who is. You know what I'm saying? And the sad part about this whole entire FC files, each and every getting dropped, there's still gonna be some that's getting redacted, which means we won't see the whole thing. Right. We may see a whole lot, but most of them probably gonna be redacted. Well, not most of you guys saw. You guys saw literally everything right here with the whole Epstein files right here, you know what I'm saying? And there should be more coming out, you know what I'm saying? I don't know when it's going to be coming out, but hopefully there's more coming out. I probably won't be talking about this. Probably going to be the only time I ever talk about the Epstein files, whatever. But I am still going to be keeping a looking out on this one because I had to talk about this because it's like, god damn, the files dropped it and they dropped it like a atomic bomb when it hit the two Japan's countries, you know what I'm saying, back in World War II. You know what I'm saying? It was just crazy, you know what I'm saying? Crazy about crazy, you know what I'm saying? And the sad part about this, you know what I'm saying, the victims, I know they're gonna want more files to get dropped, which more likely more files are gonna get dropped. And the victims, I hope the victims who were involved in this whole entire Jeffrey Epstein things do get justice for what this whole entire thing is going on, because these Epstein files have been going out is beyond crazy and crazy shit, and it's like unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? And here's the sad part about this, and this is the reality part about this. I feel like there ain't gonna be no arrest being made. No one's not gonna get reassigned. No suspensions. No, none of that. I feel like everything is just getting released so the public can shut up, so the victims can shut up, and there's nothing being said about this anymore. Like literally after this whole thing happening, it's just gonna be like, well, we released the Epstein files. No arrests will not be made because obviously this happened then and that and this and there. So all this shit does not fucking matter. So it's like whatever, you know what I'm saying? Which is unbelievable because these people that literally got caught 5K, 4K extra, what with a 1080p, whatever shit, that quality that's in the high quality standards. They literally just got caught doing the shit of all shits, being part of this all time Jeffrey Epstein's, weird fantasy. There was a photo picture of him touching a fucking woman too as well, which is Jeffrey Epstein. I won't show it because obviously it's fucking weird. Looking at that man, but no, let's though these files were dropping like flies, and honestly, I hope the victims that do that were victims of Jeffrey Epstein's, they do get their justice. But I have a feeling that it's not going to happen because the U.S., the government, and the people, the higher power, are stupid. They're going to release the files and not going to make no arrests, no reassignation, no none of that. It's going to be like, oh well, we're gonna sell this out of court, and no arrests will not be made, and we're gonna move on about a day, and there you go, boom, we're gonna call it a quit. No arrests will not be made, and that's the sad part about this because these people got brutalized and fucking manipulated and fucking beyond fucking destroyed mentally and physically by this horrible man and his fucking goons that they're involved in this whole entire shit allegedly. You know what I'm saying? So it's beyond crazy that these files are dropping, and I really, at first, I was like, man, I want to make a video on this and see if there is going to be any more files dropped. Thank God there were, because at first, when we saw the files at first, around, I think it was like around late 2025, they were all redacted. They were all blacked, like all redacted. Like you cannot see not a line or anything. It's like, okay, we see the Jeffrey Epstein files, but where's the line? Who was the people in it? Like, what's going on? Like, the government was releasing the files, but they're releasing the files that were so redacted, we can't tell who's in there, who's not in there. And they were breaking the old law. There was the Epstein's, Act law. Basically, like, you have to show the files of the Jeffrey Epstein files or any files that involve that was so unclassified that it needs to be, like, unredacted and show it to the world, and basically that was it. And the Trump and administrative people, Trump and his administrative people both agreed to this whole entire thing. U.S. government released the files, and at first we got like literally like black, like all black, like nothing. And then now we're starting getting some few people that were involved in this shit allegedly. So but yeah, man, we got it. I guess we got the files right now. Now we gotta wait for more of it to come out as soon as possible. But here's my opinion about this. I really wish there needs to be a arrest to be made. The arrest needs to be made at this point. I really wish there was some way that we could arrest these fucking dudes that literally were involved in this whole entire shit. Because these are disgusting type shit that I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? These are really nasty shit. Like this Ludwig Howard disgusting ass nigga literally was like, "Hey, I'm gonna bring a couple of minors along with me with the whole entire thing. I got this Michael guy, this Marcy girl. I got them both with me on the boat, and then along with some kids. Let's go to the island." Like this dude need to be arrested. But sadly enough, because of the power and the corruption, how the United States government system is, along with so many corruption in this world, especially the country that I love, I feel like nothing's gonna happen. Even when there's millions of files, like there's millions of Epstein files that got dropped, nothing's gonna happen. I feel like nothing's gonna happen. It's all gonna just be another ruse, and people just gonna be go in the dark and be quiet about this and call it a day, which is beyond disgusting. Because these victims that have been victimized by Jeffrey Epstein deserve to have closure. And unfortunately, they're not gonna have that closure because the government's so stupid. They see these shit right, and yet they don't make not one arrest. Cool. I guess we need some evidence, I guess, to prove that they did something, this and that, right? Whatever. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it of everything I talked about, the whole entire files. There's probably many more of the Jeffrey Epstein files here and there, but hopefully there are, so then maybe we'll have some eventual arrest. But we're gonna have to wait and see as time goes on. I just figured why not show you guys this, man, and give your thoughts and takes on it. But with that being said, that's pretty much it. I ain't got nothing to say. Thank y'all watching. Leave a like, subscribe. Let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about the whole entire recent, Jeffrey Epstein's files that were dropped. There were over 3 million of them, and I finally got the ones that really, really, really took the cake here. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about the things I talked about. And as always, take care. I'm out. Peace.